everybody. I'm joined today by Archie, who just had a little surgery yesterday. Bless his heart. He had to have a tooth removed and he had a growth removed on his arm. So he is doing good. He is a little whiny, but that is okay. I would be whiny too. But all in all, he's pretty much a trooper, pretty resilient. He wants to eat, and it's not quite time yet, so I'm gonna put him down. But if you hear whimpers and sadness, you'll know it's Archie. So today, oh, and coughing. I think they must have had to put a tube down his throat, so he's coughing a lot today. You okay? Oh, he is good. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about tips for living a busy life. And if you are a mom with kids or someone who works full time or whatever it may be, a dad with kids, you totally understand what I mean about a busy life. So now that I don't work every day in an office, I still have a busy life, but it's not every single week like it used to be. But recently I did experience several busy weeks or months all in a row with a volunteer activity that I was working on. So I kind of thought it might not be bad if we all shared some of our tips on how to survive those points in time, be it every week or a rarity. So I categorized the tips that I wanted to share with you into 4 main categories. The first is housekeeping, because even if we're busy, we still got to maintain our home where we live. There may be others living there with us and counting on us. So I'm going to share some of my tips on keeping our house in order. I'm going to share some tips on food and having a plan for eating when you really don't have time to cook and you just don't want to eat at the greasy spoon with carry out or whatever it may be. Third set of tips I want to share are related to organization. You know, even if we're busy, our bills still have to be paid. We don't want to lose any information that we're going to need later. And then, of course, lastly, I want to share wardrobe, because if you're busy, it's probably because you have a job you have to look good for, or you've got events you're having to attend. So I want to share you some tips on that with you as well. So let's get started. And it looks like Archie's calmed down a little bit. So I'm going to start out with my housekeeping tips. And in general, I always consider my house public areas, which would be areas that a guest would come to. That would include entryway, living room, possibly kitchen, dining room, guest bath. And then I consider the rest of the house more the private areas, places that he is okay. He whines and then it hurts, and so then he coughs. The private areas are the rooms that only I would be going in, like my bedroom, the master bath, you know, my craft room, places that I don't really take company. So I treat those areas differently. And one way during busy seasons or busy weeks, I like to keep what I consider the public rooms straightened and cleaned, even if they're not dust-free and swept every day like some people have the time to do and the priority is there. They're at least going to be clean. And if you have a little bit of dust from the week or maybe even 2, chances are people are going to come in with their white glove and test that out. They're just going to make sure with their eye, and as far as finding a place to sit, that it is clutter-free. There's not piles of junk hanging around, or last week's clean laundry hasn't been folded and put away. So I try to keep those public areas neat and ready to use as possible. And any pile of unfolded laundry is kept in the bedroom, out of sight from any guests that were to come over. Now, I do tend to use my guest bedroom for overflow things, but I keep it in such a manner that if a guest were to show up and say, hey, I need a place to spend the night tonight, I could quickly put those items in the closet and we would be good to go. So the other tip I want to mention is your house is a place where you and your family need to be safe and not dealing with bacteria, rodents, roaches, whatever it may be. So the other areas that I do try to keep clean, as far as straightened, disinfected, washed, put away, those are going to be bathrooms and the kitchen, because that is so very important that when we go in to eat a meal or prepare a meal, we have a clean kitchen that we're going to work from. And same thing in the bathroom. You don't want to be taking a bath in a nasty, dirty tub, or letting your guest use a bathroom that has, a dirty toilet. So just a quick wipe down with like a Lysol cloth or whatever is going to go a long way to clean off countertops and toilet seats and lavatory handles and that sort of thing. And if you go ahead and keep your bathroom and kitchen clean when you're not crazy busy, then it will be much simpler when it is busy to just do the few things you need to keep the funk away, if you know what I mean. So anyway, those are my tips on just the house overall cleanliness. Now, laundry, I am a Saturday laundry person, always have been. I try to get it all in one day. For me, it doesn't work to do a little along the way, because then I would never feel a sense of completion. But if that's what works for you, go for it. I mean, whatever it takes, whatever we prefer to get through these busy times or busy weeks, that is preferential. So if you like to do a few loads each day and put them away, stick to that routine. I wouldn't try to change it. But if you like to do weekend washing, then stick with that as well. There is no right answer. The right answer is what works for you and keeps you sane and able to get on to the next week, which hopefully won't be as busy. Okay, so real quick, let me just say, what I just said about homekeeping, it's not gonna have you, magazine ready probably with your home. No one really expects that. That isn't really real life. And I would say if I were a home decorator or a home cleaner, those would be my real lives. But I enjoy sewing and cooking, and those things can make for a messy home. I enjoy having people over, and when people come over, things get dirty because you serve them food, they use the restroom. I mean, just the practicality that we're going to be able to maintain a photo-worthy home is not a reality. So that is not the expectation from which I am coming from. If that is what you expect, then you're going to have to spend a lot more time cleaning your house while you're doing your busy things. And so it'll have to be sleep that you sacrifice. But for me, I'm going to try to give a little in all the areas just to keep me and my family on track. So next would be food, because you still got to feed your family. And if you're like me, I prefer to eat at home. I don't want to eat greasy food. Every now and then eating out is a treat, but it's not something that I plan for every day, just because my tummy doesn't like to eat out, to be honest. I'm not sure why, but if you eat at home, you get to control your ingredients a little bit better. So my secret is, of course, like all busy folks, have a plan. And as you know, often when I worked at my business, I would plan to be home by 5 or 5:30, and the customer would walk in and beg for some help. So it might be 7 when I got in, and if my husband had the same situation, we were trying to figure out what to eat at 7 o'clock that would tide us over, but wasn't going to be fast food. So My two secrets are to keep staples in your fridge and pantry and freezer so that quickly on the fly you can prepare a good meal. And those staples are going to differ between me and you. I like to keep herbs in my garden, so I'm always going to have some fresh herbs usually to spice up or make whatever I've cooked in the kitchen more flavorful. But I also like to have onions. They keep and store pretty good. I like to have russet potatoes and sweet potatoes, again, just because they'll keep well. Carrots last a long time in the fridge, so I always seem to have some carrots. I keep frozen peas. I mean, these are items that are quick and easy to use, and I tend to keep them. I also like to keep canned peas. You can drain a can of English peas, add a little bit of mayo, a few chunks of cheese, maybe a little grated white onion, and you have a pretty darn good salad. So there are so many ways that no matter how you like to eat, you can have some quick go-tos ready to go. In addition to those pantry items that you keep and have available, you're going to want to also have some quick meals and have everything in those quick meals. So let me share some of my pantry items. In addition to the long-lasting fresh things that I just mentioned, I always like to have frozen chicken breast. I believe the brand that I get is Purdue Farms, and they're in individually frozen packages, and I think you get 5 in a pack. They are 4 or 5 ounces, and they're quick to defrost, they're quick to cook, and they're very convenient to have available to you. I also like to keep rotisserie chickens, and if I don't get through the whole chicken, then I prefer to debone it when I bring it home, and then I can throw packs into the freezer just real quick. Sometimes if I'm so busy I don't get a chance to do that, then I will just throw whatever is left in a freezer bag and throw it in the chicken so that I can throw it in the freezer so I can deal with it later. But a rotisserie chicken is real easy. Pre-cooked frozen shrimp are nice to have on hand because so many dishes can use shrimp as their protein. So other items, pasta and a jar of pasta sauce. And if you don't want to do the flour in a pasta, you can get a chickpea pasta. I really like those, or a gluten-free pasta. So look for a pasta that has the health benefits that you want. You can use a bag salad. Those are really convenient. I love Uncle Ben's ready rice. Sometimes when my husband's not home, I will just eat a package of that as my meal. And I love the Spanish rice version. I add a little cheese, maybe if I have some sour cream or picante sauce. I love picante sauce. That's just a real quick, easy meal. And the calorie count isn't that bad. It is a lot of carb, but if if you balance it out, you'll be okay. And I think those are most of my favorites to have available. And then as far as cooking meals, there are so many quick things you can do. Like I mentioned, I like to keep russet potatoes. I always seem to have sour cream, grated cheddar cheese, or a block of cheddar cheese. And you can real quickly have a baked potato and have it loaded. I always have chives in my herb garden, so that's an easy one. With the frozen rotisserie chicken, you can quickly do like a Asian stir fry if you keep a package of the stir fry vegetables on hand. And then there are so many quick sauces you can mix up to actually add that layer of flavor and prevent that dish from being dry. So many things you can do there. We also got into the habit of Swan's frozen chicken pot pies. They are delicious. If you have one on hand, it does take 50 minutes to cook, but during that 50 minutes you can pay bills, get caught up on email, help your child with their homework. It's not like you're in the kitchen physically actually doing something. So that's an easy one with an easy cleanup. A rotisserie chicken with an herb sauce and veggies is always nice. You could do a mashed potato. You could do the Uncle Ben's rice and just put your chicken and the gravy, the quick herb gravy on top. And it's just delicious and feels rather fancy and decadent, although it is not. Sausage, onion, and rice, that makes for another kind of Cajun tasting meal. Use onion. If you have bell pepper, use that. And again, it's quick and it's easy and doesn't require a lot of effort. Just use your cast iron pan, only one thing to clean up plus your cutting board, and you're good to go. So be prepared not only with a meal plan, but be prepared with backups. Go-to meals that everybody likes and aren't necessarily unhealthy, but are quick and convenient and will, satisfy your tummies for the night. And then next up, organization. So organization could be anything, but I think when we're busy, the things that we tend to let go are bills and our plan and our schedule and our calendar. So those are the very worst things to let go. So when it comes to bills, I love to pay bills, respond to mail, put appointments in my calendar immediately as soon as they come in the mail or have been set, and that way you don't have to touch them for a second time, and it's quick and fast. You don't have to think about it again. But if maybe you're waiting on your paycheck to come in or you don't have time to deal with them at that moment, I would highly recommend finding a spot to put those important items, putting any due dates on the outside of the envelope, putting them in that date order, and then making sure you regularly check on them. The worst thing you can do is poke important papers somewhere that you normally don't put them, such as a big old stack of, mail or papers or whatever, because you may not find them until it's too late. So definitely have a plan for that and have a specific area where those items go so that you can remember to use them. Now, as far as the calendar, I never thought I would use the calendar on my phone, but I am addicted, and the reason is I always have my phone with me, but I don't always have my paper calendar with me. So it is convenient when, like for example, Archie had his follow-up appointment set, put it in my phone, put an alert, one and done. I know it's there. Whereas if they'd given me a card, I would have had to have kept up with the card, remember the card, think about the card, not lose the card. So it's just so much easier if you go ahead and put it in your phone. Let's see, we talked about bills, responses. One other thing that I do want to mention is keeping up with your taxes all the time. This last year I did not, and I ended up having to spend like a week or two trying to gather everything, find everything, research, put it all together, and get it ready for my tax prepare. Normally, I log things as I go along, and it is not that big of a deal to bundle it up and give it to the tax preparer. So I would recommend that if you can't log taxable things or whatever you keep up with at the moment that it happens, like on a normal week, then put those with your important bills and papers and, cards for appointments so that you can be sure and do that when you do end up having a second. Also, another good thing to do that I learned when I had my aunt with me was I always carried work in my purse, be it paying a bill or updating the calendar, whatever it was. I kept things like that in my purse so that if we were at a doctor's appointment and I had downtime, I could real quickly pay some bills and just keep on top of things. So look for intervals where it would be wasted time otherwise, and use that time to help accomplish some of your tasks so that when you get ready for bed at the end of the night, you don't have any more worries or anything to think about. You can just relax and go to sleep. So those are my tips on organization. And then finally, my tips on clothing. So if you're busy, you're probably gonna have to be at work each day during the week, or you have events that you have to be to. I recommend having outfits that are just ready to go. And this might be when you go shopping, you develop an outfit, and I don't even know if this would be an outfit, but if you can see, have on a little shirt, some red pants, a little belt that kind of brings it all together. My outfit for the day, it included navy tennis shoes because I was going casual, but it could have been dressed up a little bit more with navy loafers. And so this is my outfit. If this is an outfit I like and I want to wear it and it all fits me and I feel comfortable in it, I should take a picture, put it on my phone so that one of these days when I'm stressed and anxious, all I have to do is say, oh, that's a cute outfit. Let me grab those pieces. I would recommend that you go ahead and identify 6 or 7 outfits to wear for the coming week. They are clean, they are pressed, they are all mended, and they all fit you. And then shoes clean, handbags clean, whatever it may be, you will be ready to go when you're running late for work or find out you have an extra, meeting that got scheduled at 7 a.m., whatever it may be. Just have those go-to outfits that look good, you feel amazing in them, and you're not just throwing random things together or ending up with a pile of clothes on the bed because nothing fits or it's not clean or whatever it may be. So that will save you lots of time and lots of stress. So identify those outfits and take pictures. Just do that and have that ready to go anytime, and then make sure those outfits stay cleaned and pressed and ready to be worn. Other tips that will help you. I like to, back when I worked in the office, I wore a lot of black pants and navy pants, and normally I might get a pair of pants that I liked and get it in several colors. And so I found that if I would write in the waistband of my pants black with a Sharpie marker or blue with a Sharpie marker, then I would be able to tell in the early morning hours which pair of pants I had so that I could make sure I had the appropriate top to go with it. So that was a lifesaver to me. I do keep my shoes in the box that they came in, so that real quickly we'll say blue or black on them. But if you don't, just make sure you store the blue and the black together. Or maybe you want blacks on one side of your shoe closet and blues on another, so you don't have to worry about which is which. And just make it easy on yourself. Now with socks, I like to bundle my socks together to put them in my drawer so that I'm not having to find a matching pair early in the morning. My husband likes for his socks to be rolled over. I don't like to do that with my socks because it's not good for the elastic and fibers, but he doesn't know or he doesn't care. That's the way he wants it. So anyway, find what works for you, but anything you can do to save your time later when you have less time, you sure will appreciate yourself for doing it. Also, one tip that I found, I try to keep all skin colored underwear, so bras, underpants, slips, I keep them in nude tones for my skin. They go under everything. You're wearing black, if you wear nude and it matches your skin, no one's gonna know. If you wear white and you're wearing nude, it might look darker than your skin, but it's still gonna look better than white underwear. So I would highly recommend just buying underpinnings that match your skin tone so that no matter what you decide to do, if you have on a black pair of pants and then decide, oh, they're not dressy enough or they're running a little big this week, I'm going to switch to white, you don't have to end up switching your underwear also. So just one more little tip to make it convenient. And then lastly, don't forget to check the weather. Wear outfits that are weather appropriate, but when you're planning your outfits over the weekend and then selecting your outfit for the next day, remember your shoes, your handbags, your belts. Do they fit? Are they in good repair? Are shoes, are they clean? You just want to make sure that you're not at the last minute getting really desperate and putting together a wacky outfit, which I know I have been guilty of doing. So I would love to know any tips you would recommend for folks who are living a busy life, because ultimately, I think we all are, if not every single day, every now and then. So it's good to be prepared so we don't stress ourselves out. If you would leave those tips down in the comment section so that we can all benefit from those. And if you're new here, while you're down there, go ahead and subscribe I would appreciate it. I post a new video every Sunday, and if you'll hit the bell icon, you will get a notification when you log into YouTube that I've posted a new video. And if you are returning, thanks for being back. I hope you enjoy this video. So I will see you guys again next week. And until then, have a good one. Bye.